now.
Correct, Mundo. And now we're recording.
Now we're started.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I'm Patsy Brescia, Chairman of the Norwalk Charter Revision Commission, and we're commencing our meeting on May 11th at 6:36. It looks like on the clock. So we'll start with roll call, and we have Anita Watford,
Carl Dickens,
Patsy Brescia. And are there any other members on Zoom? Is Tyler there?
No, there's no one else. I looked.
I didn't see any listed in the members.
I'll look again. Hold on. There's no one.
So is his name, last name, Fair Brian?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh, Tyler's in here. Tyler's an attendee. Let me bring him in. I just promoted Tyler.
Are you running the things or is?
Somehow I'm a co-host. I'm a
Hi.
co-host.
Hi, everyone. I am here.
Okay, hi, Tyler.
Hi,
Thank you.
Tyler.
Okay, welcome. So we do have a quorum. So the first item on our agenda is to approve the minutes of our May 3rd meeting. So a motion to do so is in order.
I'll make a motion to approve the May 3rd.
Thank you,
Meeting
Benita.
minutes.
And second,
I'll second.
are there any corrections or changes or additions? Okay, hearing none, seeing no hands up. All those in favor of the minutes for May 3rd as presented? All those in favor? Okay.
Aye.
The motion has passed unanimously. Are there any department officials or any members of the city staff that are on Zoom to wish to address any items this evening? No hands, okay. I did receive late this afternoon an email from the library board saying that they just saw this meeting tonight was being held, and they have their monthly meeting at this time, so they are interested in communicating with us. So I'll follow up with that to try to see how we can accommodate that. Are there any people from the public that would like to make any comment on any portion of the charter today? No hands. Okay, so the record please show that there's no hands. So that leads us to discussion, and we turn it over to you, Steve.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members. Since we have a small group here tonight, what I thought I would do is I sent out a very late this afternoon. As Patsy knows, I've been doing some massive edits. I appreciate the edits that, for the record, that Benita sent me, Tyler and Angela. Thank you. I was saying Attorney Wasuna. Angela did a terrific job, and I think Patsy was part of the mix in developing the setting the context provision of the document. And what I thought I would do, unless you think it's I don't think it's going to be too time consuming, but I want to give you a sense, looking at the clean document, where we stand with the document, and kind of walk you through. I think we tackle the problem that Patsy's been concerned about throughout the entirety of this process regarding the tax districts, and particularly the non-tax districts that are called tax districts, which I've now finally learned. I had a terrific conversation with Attorney Murphy the other day, so I really got my education, and it came just in the nick of time. So I'm going to go on screen and tell me if you give me a second here. I'm trying to.
Okay, while you're doing that, can I just, Tyler, you were working on compiling a list of issues that we have addressed and are making suggestions. Have you made progress on that, or what's your projection for?
I'm still working on that, Patsy. I mean, I was speaking with someone today. I think the four kind of notable things are what ended up in the preamble, which are the change to the mayoral term, the requirement that the city revisit the charter every 5 years, and then the sunsetting of certain things and the repeal of certain things.
Look at the screen, everybody.
Okay,
Okay,
This is the document I prepared about a month ago.
yeah, right.
And maybe I could send this to Tyler and take a look at it. This is a little more detailed, and I'd love to post it tomorrow if we could, along with a clean version of the document. I'm trying to get on the screen. And this kind of goes through, should I make it larger? Do you need it larger?
Yeah, let's do that, because if it's going public, we need to make sure we're all.
I
on
got
the-
you.
Yep,
I can send it out to everybody as well, but I just decided to check it out at the beginning of this meeting so that, whoops, there we go. So, and what I'll also do, if you want, I'll go through the new opening, which I was going to just do of the document, and it's designed to replace the document that we had since basically 1913. We're working on an opening. We now have the opening, so obviously we change that. The idea is reforming the document, not the government. I go through Article 1. So I try to do a little run through the articles, not much in Article 1. Article 2, talk about the definitions. We'll talk about that a little bit. Standards of conduct. Whoops, sorry. Rules of civility and order. Open meeting standards, cooperation, diversity. Article 3. Recug, nice.
and
Um,
also election.
I got it. I see it.
There was an and above that was capitalized also.
Yeah, I'll clean this up. Or I'll send it to, if Tyler, you want me to send it over to you and you could play with it, or are you too jammed up to get it?
That would be great. I think what I would like to do with this, Steve, would be for you to send it to me. I'll take a look at it. I think we should have this on the website as soon as possible.
Well, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I've been asked by a couple of people, do we have like a cheat sheet? Because understandably, most people don't have time to look at 280 pages and then compare it to the old chart or whatever. So I think if we could have this up for people to look at, it would be great. And then I was going to work on kind of distilling it even more for the really important things that I think people are going to be dialed into, and make it kind of more so than just like a bullet point list. Just make a couple pages that are maybe visually easy to digest and anticipate some
Well, and if you could get that to me,
Okay,
my
so
transmittal letter.
You got
Yeah.
Article 5 here with there to be no significant changes anticipated.
Well, that's changed. We didn't, when I drafted this, we hadn't gotten to the council and the mayor. So believe me,
Okay.
so,
Yeah, so this.
yeah, I'll update it. Same thing with boards and commissions and city divisions and departments. Those, because remember, this was April 18th. It's before we saw those sections,
Okay.
and then
Yeah.
the budget section, et cetera. So I'll send this,
Send it to everybody, please, and Tyler, you work on it, and then
Yep.
we send your suggestions to all of us before we go public, so that we're all together. on
Yeah,
it. This is
absolutely.
a Very important piece for our potential success to get some
Let
changes.
me do it while we're here, so it gets done. 1 second.
What are you doing?
Patsy. Patsy, Tyler.
Oh, sending.
Mhm.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna send it to Patsy and Zuma right now. I'll worry about everybody else later, so we don't take any more time.
Okay,
Right now, there. So it's out to Patsy and Zuma. So, good. All right, let me let me switch documents and go back to the main document.
Right.
And but I just thought that would be helpful for,
I think
and if we
it's
could do
very,
that.
very important.
Yeah, if
It's
we can
very
get that
important.
done sometime tomorrow, that'd be wonderful. I'll be happy to look at it, Tyler. And it'll be easy to go through. If you go through the sections, you'll see what the changes are. Now, do you have the document up on the screen? I'll make it larger again.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. All right, I've got it up at 200. So we're not gonna read the whole thing here, but what they did was they raised the question, what is the charter? This is something we've done earlier. Why was it revised this year? What is the commission? How does the commission work? All that kind of stuff.
Steve, when you said they, for the record, who's they?
Tyler, Angela,
Oh, okay.
and Patsy.
Members of our commission.
Yeah, members of your commission.
Okay.
And then what are the main provisions that we dealt with? It lays out the breakdown between the three parts of the document. It's really two parts, actually. The part one is the main charter. Part two is the taxing district section and the special act provisions, Tyler. They're special act provisions. And then the major changes, those are the major changes. I would also put in there as a major change, the expansion of the fire and police commissions.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
agreed.
that's huge.
I think
Agreed.
that's,
That should be in there.
I think that's a useful thing to put in there.
Yeah, that should be
As
in there.
well.
I think. Yeah, I mean, I'll look at it again. I'm just trying to think, and I think it'd be helpful, Steve, if you could email me that page that you had up before that we'll obviously need to make some updates to. But I'm just trying to, and I'll spend some more time thinking about it tomorrow. What should be included here? Right? What are the big things that we want to have in there without kind of overloading it?
You don't have to worry about fixing this for tomorrow. I'm going to post this the way it is right now tomorrow, so the public sees the document. I think we need to post the bullet list sometime tomorrow as well.
Agreed.
That gives people the weekend up to next Wednesday's meeting.
Yeah.
And
This
this document,
that's admirable, but for us to be able to look at this and then before it goes public tomorrow is a tight deadline. So if it could be Sunday or Saturday or Monday or something.
I can't post over the weekend. So if you guys want to look at this, we can wait till Monday to post it.
I don't want it to
you-
go out
you-
unless we all are in agreement here.
I would. I mean, you could post this thing as is. I mean,
It's a draft work in progress. It's not the
Right.
final document. Yeah.
Right, and it's got 4 of the more important things on there already, and then we'll spend a little time this weekend or whatever. I'll do it tonight, or no, tonight's not gonna happen. Tomorrow we can get that other thing with the kind of bullet points, and we'll get that up too. But I would be comfortable with this that we're looking at now going up, just so people have something to look at. I mean, it's got some pretty substantive things if people want to comment, and then we just need to, it's all in there. It's just how are we summarizing it for people and making it easier to digest.
So adding the police and fire change, I think is important.
That is important.
And also a comment of explanation of the we don't use the word restructure, the reorganization of the staff with creating the chiefs and departments. And
Hi, everybody. Angela Wasuna.
Angela is now on.
Sorry.
There she is.
Oh, hi, Angela.
I'm here. Hi
Welcome.
there.
Are you on the train?
I actually took my last meeting on the train so I could be here.
Oh,
Be at my house. I'm good.
thank you.
I'm at home.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So to 5 members, expansion of police and fire commissioners to 5 members, from 3 to 5.
All of this is going to be, we have to decide whether you ultimately want all of this in the charter. we're going to, at some point, do a transmittal letter, which all the stuff will be in, but, you know, so. All right. And so, I tried to take a lot of the bullet notes out of the document, so you're not going to see a lot, but you're still going to see some because it's still a work in progress. There are really no changes in this section, Article 1. I don't think there's anything I took out since we sent it initially. The changes come in the next section, and some of them are still going to be works in progress. You don't see this on the screen. You'll see it on your red line. Section 2-1 was repeated under section 2-2. A was exactly the same as 2-1, and I basically took it out, is what it came down to. I took that redundant definition out. The appointing authority is a definition that appears to be new. Means the mayor or other board or commission, public official who possess the legal authority to make appointments to or removal as required under the provisions of the charter, ordinances, or by law. It's a term that we use throughout the document. And I haven't done the run yet to do the capitalizing on appointment authority, but that will be, that is a new definition. Budgeted entity, we had as a term.
Say, so here again, we don't have, we have department heads, but not the chiefs, department chiefs listed here under 3, budgetary entity.
Well, I don't think they're budgetary entities, but we could, you know, they're not.
Well, they oversee the department heads. They present the department heads' budgets. The chiefs.
Yes, and the department is the entity. The chiefs don't have their own budgets, so they're not technically a budgeted entity. I'll put it in if you want, but each division, I don't believe they're budgeted items, but we can check on that. So each division department, we're being, all right. In the budgeted entity paragraph, I talked quite a bit with folks in City Hall, Corp Council, on how to articulate the Department of Education. I wanted to make sure if I simply said Board of Education, that I wanted to make sure that it included the Norwalk Public Schools under the auspices of the Board of Education. I thought that was the most expansive way to address the issue I was worried about. I didn't want the Board of Education coming in and saying, well, it didn't say the department, it didn't say the schools, it just said the Board of Ed, and we have no budget.
Very clear.
Yeah, so,
Great.
yeah. Yeah, so I wanted to just clarify that. I was concerned about that. So that's the only change there. No changes until we get to the definition of confirmation. I don't know why I still have this. I'm going to take the shadow off of this, but we still have that 2-year issue that has not been resolved yet, Patsy.
I haven't talked to, I just find it really strange, but I don't, that a capital item is. You
and I are in agreement on that. It seems to be their term, but I still have the note, and I'll try to talk to Henry.
Yes.
Before we take a final action, we will get an answer on that. I'm leaving majority vote of the council in italics or in shading because I wanted to, because I have not had a chat with the president of the council and Tom. I want to run through the document with the two of them to see what items they think is appropriate. We could leave it for them to do, but I'd like to be able to get it resolved before we send it over in a couple of weeks. So one thing that is clear here is I wanted to make it clear that because you confirm the appointees does not give you the ability to terminate or remove appointees. Confirmation does not confer appointment or removal authority unless explicitly stated in this charter or is otherwise required by law. There was some concern that the confirmation could lead to that, and I thought that clarified that point, that they confirm, but they're not the executive. It's the executive that can commence the removal proceedings.
And that's articulated somewhere else in the charter.
I think it is as well, but
Yeah,
I thought,
I read it recently. so-
yeah, but I wanted to make sure that it was in the definitions and clear in the definitions. I did add at the request of the chair that I addressed the issue of division chiefs. Division chief refers to the public officials appointed by the mayor in accordance with section 8-1 of Article 8 of this charter to assist the mayor in the coordination of the functions of government with the department heads and other city employees. So I created a defined term. We could work on that before final action, but it's in the document. I wanted to get it in there because Patsy had requested it. I thought it made sense to try to address that issue. I just wanted to point that out for you. No other changes here, except now we have the brand new, section on 5th taxing district, 4th taxing district, and 5th taxing district. Take the S out. Refer to 2 areas of the city which together comprise the entire city with respect to specific services provided to the residents of those districts. Residents of the 4th district, S, I see another typo, of the 4th district are provided with water service. Meanwhile, the residents of the 5th
not
district. do
water.
not.
No, what? No.
Sewer.
Okay,
Sewer. It says sewer, I said water.
right.
While these 2 districts share the historic name with the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 5th taxing districts, the 4th and 5th districts do not serve any governance functions and do not impose taxes upon their residents. That's a first run at the definition, Patsy. But I wanted to get it in so that we can work on it over the course of the
Yeah,
next
That
2 weeks.
is a very good start. It looks good, so. I
Good,
don't know if
thank
there are
you.
Any comments from anybody? Because this has been.
Does everybody now understand that? I did not understand that until yesterday and today. I finally got it
Okay,
between talking to.
I tried to explain it, but not well, I guess.
Yeah, well, we all got it today, and I
Okay.
got it in my conversation with Attorney Murphy the other day, and today's conversation. It got me to this, and I'll run this by him because he's an expert on it, and see if he can come up with any refinements on it. But not before it's published. We'll do it before we send it over to the council.
Carl, are you? Carl.
Are you okay with it?
Always in.
Yeah, it's as clear as mud. No, it's better than it. That's a good start.
Good, thank you.
I think what's
And-
interesting is you read this and for the first time, at least to me, maybe I'm going to miss a point. It comes out, there's 2 districts,
What, before,
4 and 5.
What I don't have in here, Patsy, and we talked about this today, you and I, where would somebody go to find what the districts are? Where, how do the districts fall? We know they change, and I don't know if we can say the districts may be found, or, maybe our maps of the districts are in the town clerk's office. I don't know. What do you think?
There is no map that I'm aware of the 4th and 5th.
So how do we determine, how does it?
Because the 4th
Yeah.
changes when when at any street or even a couple of houses or one houses go from septic system to the city sewer, they go into the 4th district to be charged for that service.
So
And
it's an incremental change.
Yes,
So,
right.
all right.
And so there is no map that I'm aware
so
of.
the concept, even the concept of being a district is odd because it's basically
That's
some
for
people
the
get it.
service costs and that. for
Exactly.
Cost. of
I
the
got
service.
you.
Yeah.
But we're kind of confined with those definitions. I would recommend in the future that we figure out a way to get around that.
Yeah,
to
well,
change
it's
that.
a challenge.
No, it's a huge challenge. Again, the majority vote of the council has not been finalized yet. Meeting or public meeting, I gotta put a reference in here. This comment could come out. Public official. Ordinances, nothing changed there. You'll see a new one coming up in a minute. These have all been in here. Here we are. So I did very simply taxing districts shall mean the first, second, third, and sixth taxing districts as set forth in Article 12 of Part 2 of this charter. So it kicks people into the section if they want to see what those districts are and what they do. That's the definition. So we include them there so people see that they exist and where they can go to find out what they do.
I have to read the rest of it before I, see how it ties together, when we get to the end, the two last articles.
All right. No changes in these sections. Let me see where the next changes are. I mean, little typos and whatnot have been picked up in a lot of this. There's still going to be typos. We're going to try to work our way through it. So there are really no other substantive changes in this article. So it's cleaning up. So a lot of the questions are gone. You'll see this kind of thing at the bottom of the pages. Hold on, let me get back up to the. I have periodically references to it's footnote 60. What is footnote 60? Oh, that's the those are the protected classes. So I do is I reference that the listing in this charter is not exclusive since it reflects the current state of protected classes under federal and state law. It is fully expected those classes, as those classes are modified by Congress or the General Assembly, the new protected classes will be deemed covered as if they were specifically included in the enumeration. So we can't list all the special, we don't know, we know what they are today. They could change next year. And
Tomorrow.
yeah, so I just thought if they change tomorrow, we'll put them in. But if they change after this charter is enacted, I wanted to put that, I've used that comment in other charters to address the issue. Chapter 3, Article 3. I don't know why I still have this in highlight. Why is this in highlight? Notice of the election.
Is it the city clerk or the town clerk?
Where?
Well, here, that does this function.
I don't know the answer on that.
I don't either. That's why I'm asking.
Let's see.
Sort of those responsibilities sort of go back and forth.
It's from the charter, so it's in the current charter city clerk. So I was questioning whether we even needed this in here. So I'll leave this as an open question that we'll have to resolve at our last meeting. And we'll figure out whether it's city clerk or town
Town
clerk.
clerk. So
Yeah.
you're gonna note that, just city. slash town.
Why, here, what I'll do is, hold on. I'll change the note open.
I just don't think in our current atmosphere in this country, making any changes to election procedure is a good idea.
Well,
Uh,
the reason I
Taking it
question whether
out.
this is there, I think this is governed by state law.
Yeah,
And that's the only reason I raised it. Yeah, I agree with you, but we're not changing them because we don't govern. The election procedures are not governed by the charter of the city of Norwalk. Let me take a look, see where I did make it clear the date of the election is the odd numbered years. and there's a typo. There's a redundant "the." I put the odd numbered years and biennially thereafter.
But where are you under B?
Yeah, A,
Oh,
yeah,
there was,
because you have elections every 2 years. And they're odd numbered years when the elections occur. And
is it, we talked about this once before, I can't find it, but we talked about it, but being in the odd number year rather.
but that's what I just said. After the first Monday of November, in the odd numbered years, in the odd numbered years, and biennially thereafter.
So say that in human speak.
There's an election every 2 years.
Okay,
And in the even numbered, it's one, and then the odd, it's
the other.
the other. One is local and one is state.
Yeah, we don't govern the
Yeah.
state and presidential elections. We just are concerned about, although the registrars are in the presidential or gubernatorial cycle.
Would it be clear if that was articulated that local elections are in one year and the state national in the other?
I've never put the state or national in a local charter.
Okay.
It's not, I think it would start, yeah, I don't know. I could do it if you want. I've never done it. That doesn't mean it doesn't have to be done, but why don't we think about it? We can always do it if you want.
Ask me that question.
Yeah,
Okay,
but basically the locals in odd years.
yeah,
The locals are in odd years. Now, you could have a local election in an even numbered year if there's a special election, for example.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
the normal cycle is the odd numbered year.
Right.
and Steve, I don't know if you not realize that for the voting districts for the state and national, people in Norwalk have different districts, you know.
Yeah, but that's not a charter matter.
Yeah,
That's,
I just,
Again,
for
yeah.
a point of interest, that makes it even more confusing for our citizens, or,
every city goes through that. Norwalk.
Even
is
the
not
polling
unique.
places change.
well, that's because there's part of other
Yeah,
towns.
yeah.
All right, and then we have the elected
Go
public, the elected public officials. I'll put the references in there. They're not in there. We have the sunset provisions for selectmen and treasurer. And
And we're on that, when you're doing the bullet points, it would be good to say effective in the 2025 election. The
all right, Tyler, you
elimination-
got that? You got that, Tyler? I'll let you worry about that.
I don't know if he's still with us.
Tyler's here.
He is?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
here.
Okay,
All right, and then we have
and then in B, you've got an extra 59 in the number.
extra.
11, 59.
No, well, that's 59 minutes. You know, okay, 11:59, 11.
Is that right?
No, that's seconds. It's 11:59:59.
Oh, wow,
Yeah,
okay.
right up to the
Second.
edge. Yeah. And that's the first business day of January. Tyler, anything else we might put in there? I'm not sure I captured that one. The new start date for the administration.
I just made a note of that.
Okay, good. Yeah, we're going through, it's another good one.
That's it. Yeah, and I think the other one was we made a change to reapportionment rather.
Yes,
think
I have that in there, I believe.
Yeah, I think that's worth adding to that list as well, because I think that's an important one.
Absolutely, absolutely.
It makes
After
things.
that 59, there's a P period M. You want to change that now?
That one,
Yeah, yeah.
done. Got it. Thank you. And then this is where the 4-year term comes in for mayor. Following the 2025 cycle. And then we have the transition. There's another period missing after that, M. And no other changes. I'm just looking at the big changes. That's what I'm trying to capture, because we're not gonna, you guys will read this at a later point. Trying to see where, I'm looking at my red line while we're doing this, so I can make sure that I just capture the things that have changed. There are really no other changes in this section. I'll run through it quickly. The Common Council is divided into 5 districts. And Tyler, here in subsection 3 is the reapportionment.
Is that new here?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, so do we have to articulate it?
it's on the list, and Tyler's going to focus a little
Okay.
bit more on it.
Okay,
All right. And then we have the Board of Education, and I restructured the way somebody had suggested it. And so the council and the Board of Ed read identically with their districts and with their at-large. Everything is broken down the same way, except the Board of Ed has minority party representation. The council does not.
Can you back that up a little bit to that paragraph about minority representation?
1 second. Let me fix this typo while I'm here.
Okay.
There we go. I just found a typo. Let me fix it. Got it. You see it?
Yep.
okay, so other districts there.
Yep.
And this ties in with that confusion on all the districts.
Mhm.
So they are elected at the same time as the rest of the cities, but that's again becomes confusing that it's here.
Mhm.
And should it be in their own district section? Because it's the first, second, third, and sixth again.
Or at least put in the third,
It's the first,
Put
second,
those-
third, yeah,
first, second, third,
and sixth.
and sixth. Put those numbers in, at least it gives it context.
Thank you.
But
Good-
that,
Good
but
catch.
but this is why it gets so damn confusing, because it's interspersed, throughout it. And the other option, Steve, could this C just be moved into the taxing district? portion?
Well, you know me, I've tried to put all the taxing district stuff in the taxing district. This is not a bad thing, because it says we have these, go to Article 13 and you'll see them.
Okay,
That's all this says.
okay,
I think it's a helpful
That's good.
guide to get you into the right section.
okay, good.
That's the reason I left it here. We changed, you may not remember this, whoops, sorry. We changed the tie vote. I can take these references out. These are the statutory references to how tie votes are determined. We had some local procedure, but they don't follow the local procedure. They follow state law. So this simply does it in accordance with state law. These are the vacancy provisions that we've gone through quite a bit, no changes. There, you have the red lines, you'll see little typo fixes and stuff like that. We're going to continue to do that.
We jumped over the role of the council. Can we just take a fast look at? Okay.
Okay,
Yep,
and then we'll move into the council section, and there are some changes here. We picked up on some things that I moved into, remember, that's majority of the members. I want to make sure we're consistent on the voting standards. That's why that's still in yellow. So then we go into the council section. So it's article, what's it, Article 13, I think, is taxing districts, am I correct? Let me fix this while I'm here. Article 12. Article 13. It's 13. I have all the sections marked as 12. I'll have to fix that. The numbers were changing, so it's Article 12.
So this is a confusing issue here with the term taxing districts. So it's really the city.
No, it's with,
No?
it is with the taxing districts. This is what takes you again into Article 12. So again, I'll do the first, second, third,
It's feedback coming from some place.
Six.
It's very faint.
and sixth.
Correct.
Are set forth, okay. Then no changes in the council section, couple minor,
Yeah, there was one thing I picked up, it says that the president of the council is elected at the beginning of the term. And that implies it's a 2-year term and the council currently elects president on a 1-year basis. So I don't know if the council cares about that or. if it's
well, I think it's, I mean, that's according to their rules, but look, I'm not gonna put it in because I did ask about that. I asked if they wanted to change it, they said no. But this implies that, you're right, it implies that
It's for 2 years. Yeah.
for a term as may be established, let me just play this idea out, by the rules of the council. Because I think it's a council rule. I don't think it's a charter.
It's not. I don't think so either.
Well, the 1 year is just how they do it.
Yeah, no, I get it, but I don't want to take away
Yeah.
from them their ability to change it if they want. So
Yeah.
for a term is maybe established by the rules of the council.
I think that's an improvement.
Good catch. All right, oh, I did make it, I mean, this is a minor thing, I think, meetings 4-3. I did add some, where's this, where's the 4-3 C? At the end of C, the minutes and records of regular meetings shall be filed. The words minutes and records weren't in there. It simply said, the regular meeting shall be filed in a timely manner as required by law. I thought it should be the minutes and the records of regular meetings shall be filed in a timely manner as required by law.
And I was looking at E earlier, the word journal, is there a better word, more current, up-to-date word for the storing?
Record of its proceedings,
Yeah.
got it. We may not have to meet tomorrow morning, Saturday morning.
Well, these are
Patsy.
some of my,
No, we'll keep going. Tell me what you have and we'll make it'll make our meeting this weekend shorter. Oh, one other thing I did here, at the request of council leadership, is the council may be specially convened at any time. Right now, it's just by the mayor. Added the council president. Council president should be able to convene a meeting of the council.
and what about, is there provision that X amount of council members can request a meeting?
Well, that didn't come up, but let's see if the council brings it. Let's see if the council brings it up, because I will obviously tell them we've added the council president. It's reasonable to have a petition by council members to do that, but they have not come to us for that. When this goes to the council, if they want to do that, I'm sure we'll hear from them.
Okay, good.
But I thought it made sense to put the president in on that. I think the other thing,
In
oh,
section,
yes,
in
I did
section
pick-
A,
what's that?
section A down here, authority and power of the council reason.
Yeah,
Needs to be not limited to. Or, but not. Or something.
you don't like knit
Yeah.
knot? You don't like knit knot? What's wrong with you? I'm sorry. Just joking, but not limited to. Sorry. Thank you.
That came up 2 or 3 times. It's
Well, it's my typing, my typing
computer.
is, yeah. I did make a change in this next section as I was going through it and I checked with council. This language is a little different than it had been. We had the multi-year contracts in here, and I think I somehow neglected the fact that they do look at other contracts. That's the longer than 12 months is multi-year. And or a payment in excess of the authorized limit established by ordinance in accordance with law. So the council needs to establish an ordinance that says the mayor is obligated to send all contracts in excess of $50,000, $100,000, $25,000. But this gives them the ability to establish the standard. And that's a pretty normal provision. A lot of their work is contract approval, but the charter had been silent on that. And when I was drafting it, I neglected, as I was going through it the other day, I realized I had neglected one of their principal responsibilities is dealing with the contracts. But I thought I would put the
Is it
authorized limit.
10,000 now? Is that what it is now?
There's nothing in the charter now at all. They may have a rule of 10,000, but it's up to them to establish the limit.
Okay.
And that's what that provision does. Then I think the only other change in this next section is you can't eliminate some of these things, but there's a provision in here, notwithstanding the foregoing, majority of the entire membership, the mayor, the council with a majority of the entire membership can take any action necessary to action authorized by subsection 3, which is the reorganization of the departments. And I think the standard actually is a 2/3 standard. By a 2/3, yeah, I think it's a 2/3 standard. I noticed that this was missing. 2/3 of the entire membership. So we're going to catch these things continuously as we go through the document. These are the powers. We still have a few outstanding ones that we'll talk about in our last meeting. The ones that are shaded, and I have them noted, the council recommends that these can probably go away because they're covered by the Municipal Powers Act. Number 7 is one. Number 6 is one. Hold on. Number 6 is one. Undertaking public improvements. We can leave it if we want, but it's already covered by the Municipal Powers Act. Number 9 is one as well. I don't have a problem leaving an audit function in here, so we could talk about this at our meeting after the public testimony, but I wanted to just at least shade those and let you know that those are things we probably have to deal with after the public hearing.
Okay, could you go back up to the list of people with, it says controller, is Henry's title controller?
No, it's Chief Financial Officer.
So,
Yeah. Right? Chief Financial Officer?
I believe so. I thought so. I'm
Let me
not
take a look. Hold
positive.
on. Let me go look.
Are these speakers on that's above our head?
Yeah, something's going on.
Can you turn those off?
There's some kind
Because
of sound.
Angela's voice is coming, I'm hearing her, and then it's also coming through the speaker. It's not delayed, but it's,
Showing me.
Chief Financial Officer. So you want to replace controller with chief financial officer?
I want to do whatever is the right title.
That's the title. At one point, the controller was the key finance officer of
Yeah,
the city.
that was a long time ago.
Got it. Good catch.
And did you get rid of that semicolon? You had
Right.
an or. You got to get
Here,
rid of the
Patsy,
or,
it's coming.
comma, under F.
Well, or Corporation Council.
I'm sorry.
It's the last one on the list.
Thanks. Okay, sorry, I misread it.
No, it's okay. No, don't hesitate. No changes. Let's see. Historical provisions. Okay, I did add, and Patsy will know about this. As we were agonizing this morning over this issue of the taxing districts, I had moved a whole series of what I considered to be taxing district responsibilities of the council into the taxing district section because I thought it would confuse things. These two that we left aren't really, again, they're for the 4th and 5th districts. There's a reference to the 4th and 5th wards. We're going to leave it because I have no idea. We have no idea how to change it, but it does refer to the 4th taxing district itself. So I call this historical powers of the Common Council. And so we move these. You'll see when we get to the taxing district section, you're going to see there were like 6 or 7 different things. Most of them are general powers provisions, and you'll see in the annotations on this page that they have been eliminated because they're covered by the Municipal Powers Act. When I thought that they applied to the taxing districts themselves, I left them, but when we moved them back into the general powers, it made sense to take them out. So these two sections relate to the 4th and 5th taxing districts. Maybe we should put taxing in there.
So the naive question, is that because that's where the revenue comes from, those two districts?
The 5th district, well, you got the word ward there.
Yeah.
That's in the current charter. I don't know what to do about it. It's
Can we put slash?
I don't know because I don't know what it means. So I did not change that. Remember, I moved the wards to the taxing districts because the taxing districts are defined by the wards. Now, as you said, Patsy,
Yeah.
the territory isn't situated in a geographic, it's geographic, but it's never expanding or contracting. At some point, the part of the city that doesn't have sewers may be virtually nil. So the concept doesn't make sense. I agree with you. Why don't we simply say to define, designate, and specify additional territory situated in the city to be included? Isn't that the concept, Patsy?
It is, but need to run that by Corporation Council to be
Well,
sure.
I'm telling you, they don't know. I may talk to
I know.
Murphy. I may talk to,
Well,
told-
he would
yeah.
know best.
yeah.
Just.
I'll leave it as an item that needs to be addressed. Let me just make a note here.
Because this could be totally misinterpreted, so we need to work on this one.
Yeah, that's outstanding issue. I'm taking a quick look. I'm juggling 2 documents, so apologize for that. Oh, the mayor's office had requested, and I made the change because I didn't think it was a huge substantive change. If you guys disagree, we'll put it back. But when you get down to the mayoral disapproval authority, they want to call it a veto.
Oh.
Well,
In
they
four,
wanna call-
4 hold on,
No, I just missed
Where
what
is
you
it here?
said.
I did too, so.
I'm going to tell you in a second. Let me just get to the section. So
Okay,
here it is. So in this section where how a bill becomes a law, council passes an ordinance, goes to the mayor. Under the current charter, it's approval or disapproval. And the mayor's office requested that we change disapproval to veto. Because that's in
Be
effect what
what?
they call it.
Veto.
Wanted to call it a
Veto.
veto as opposed to a disapproval. And I left in the document veto paren disapproval so that people understand that, but I didn't think, I made a Scrivener's decision. If you guys disagree, we can put it back to disapproval.
And what is the procedure to override the mayor's veto?
What's right here? So the mayor vetoes, returns it, and if the mayor, here's the override. Well, we have to change this to veto also. So if the mayor objects, I didn't change any of this. This is in the current charter, 2/3.
So it's 2/3.
Yep.
Can you go back up to the first statement, because I think we need to add the word proposed ordinance. I think it reads the ordinance, and it's not until it's a proposed ordinance, and then it goes every proposed ordinance or resolution.
Okay.
That's correct, right? I think I'm reading it correct, right?
It's
Yeah, okay.
it's belt and suspenders, but it doesn't hurt sometimes.
Well, it doesn't.
Your pants
it's not
will-
an
your
ordinance,
pants-
you know,
Your
and
pants
so-
will not fall down this way. This is the right way to do it.
Okay, all right.
I'm supporting you on this.
Okay.
I'm taking a look at any other changes. The other changes I started capitalize, I've started to run through definitions. So when you look at the red line, you'll see a capital O in ordinance. You'll see some other changes as well, but there are no other substantive changes in the mayor's section, in the council section. I'll run through it. That's the override of the veto. I mean, I don't like this, reconsider its former vote. It's action on such measure as opposed to a former vote. I didn't, I was careful about not changing everything. I mean, is everybody okay with former vote, or that's the current historic language? I don't have a huge issue with it. I just thought I'd bring it to your attention. It's a little awkward.
Or just
Recorded.
reconsider.
Shall proceed to reconsider. I'd say it's vote. It's,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's, oh, I do too.
Yeah, it's not a form of vote. It was the
Not a
vote.
former.
Yeah. Okay. This is the audit provisions. I didn't change anything there. The referendum. Oh, now I did this early in the process. I just want to make sure everybody understands it so that if anybody ever says anything to you, and we don't have to use the term. It's the only place where it's used. We could take it out, or I could check it out. This is commonly known as a petition for overrule. You call it a referendum, and it is a referendum, but it's a referendum by petition, and the petition overrules the action. So I put it in the alternate concept of the petition for overrule is, maybe we could put it in quotes, but I thought it was a more modern term to explain what this section is. If you don't think it's needed, we can take it out.
I think it's helpful. Anything that clarifies is helpful. Is this the section where we get into the 8% of the,
I believe so, yes.
okay,
It's coming up right here. 8% right here.
is that established by state statutes? Where did
That's in your charter. The referendum provisions are maybe a little different. I'd have to look at them, but these have been, I didn't want to mess with your referendum provision.
No, I just wondered to educate.
I don't know. I
where
think
that
it maybe,
comes
it
from.
could be 10, it could be 5 or 10. I don't know the
Yeah,
answer
okay,
definitively. I don't represent a lot of
yeah,
small towns. Not that Norwalk is a small town, and Hamden has the same provision, and Hamden's smaller than Norwalk, but since 1966, no one has ever taken a petition for overrule. And I think the same is true in Norwalk. To my knowledge.
In there, there's something also about providing 500. I'm trying to remember. Yeah,
$600.
no, it was 500 forms of, the petitions itself. It might be down further. Oh, here it is under C. And at least 500 copies.
Yeah,
I mean, what is that all about? What decided how many copies that you need?
I'm fixing things that I noticed as we're doing this, and I hope you don't mind. It's just. Well, are we?
I'm
you wanna
just,
change?
I was
Yeah.
looking for, I thought you might have, it might be standard state.
I've not seen that.
It's
It might have been state of the art at the
seems a
time
little
this was
bit,
adopted.
Weird.
Yeah, it is weird. And look, it's, I don't know what to say, because right now they could just send you the form by computer.
Right.
Each of which shall be marked with the seal of the city of Norwalk.
Yeah. Well, that's important.
This
because
is
it's going
something
out
for your 2-year charter revisions. That's something you could look at in 2 years, because we
Right.
haven't really done due diligence on it.
Getting you guys educated for the next one.
Yeah. I'm looking to see that. I think that's pretty much it. I thought this is not a section I spend a lot of time on, and that's why I'm just catching these section fixes. Here it is again. Let me fix this while I'm here. Here, I'm just going to mark it and fix it later. I'll fix it later. More than I thought. So I'll just do it later. So these are still the reference. I mean, there's a huge number of pages on your referendum. But I thought it belonged in the council section because it follows up. You'll see it again in the budget section because it follows up council action. After
Right.
the ordinance is enacted, you have this procedure to deal with it. So the mayor's section. No changes. I changed one section where you just use the defined term boards and commissions. I realized that there was a section that was where all the committees and task forces and all that, and we have a defined term, so I changed that. That's the only substantive thing in this section. Mayoral appointments, nothing changed there. I have the division chiefs in there, obviously.
Before we go too far, Steve, is there a definition of referendum in the definition section?
No,
Can there be? Or should there be?
it's a pretty understood term. I don't know. I'll leave it up to you.
Well, recall and referendum are not the same, right?
Well, you don't have recall in Connecticut, but you do have referendum in some communities, including yours.
The answer to that then would be,
Yeah,
no, they're not the same since one
they're
doesn't.
not the same. No, they're not the same at all.
But I'm wondering,
Referendum-
I'm wondering if anybody's confused over that. That's to your point.
Yeah, I mean.
I don't know.
I think it can be helpful. It's not, and that's our intent, is to make this document as clear and usable. So why not?
Well, it's probably going to be a referendum is a procedure established under section such and such of Connecticut general statutes. I'm not going to redefine it.
Yeah, well, that, at least they then know where to go to find out what they
Right.
want.
Would it be helpful in here somewhere to make mention of the fact that in the state of Connecticut, there are no recalls.
No.
No, you know, there's,
Okay, you answered it. You said no.
yeah, no, I don't think that that is helpful.
Okay.
Uh,
What's
let me
next?
just, and I'm going back to definitions. Let me just, put a placeholder in. I'll fix it. I'll fix it. All right. All right, let me go back to where I was, 5-5, hold on. No changes here. This is new.
Yeah.
We had talked about this a while ago, no changes in it. Oh, there's one change in it. I think I had subject matter assistance, and you know, it was too specific. So whatever assistance the mayor needs and are approved in the budget are appropriate and approved here. So that was a minor change there. I made some changes. I made a little change in the city clerk section. A B1. In B1, whoops, you'll see this in your red line. Cause the ordinances to be published as required by the general statutes, which changed language that published shall enter upon the records the city clerk's certificate. When I asked about that, no one knew what that was. The procedure for causing the ordinances to be published are governed by state law. So I changed it to that. It's kind of a Scrivener's correction. There's another place where I took out the reference to treasurer twice.
Yeah.
In this section. It was this language here was to pay the treasurer of the city, pay the same to the city. And there was another one, collect all, yeah, this was interesting. Collect all such bills as the council may order. I have no idea what this is. I am going to check out and see what it is and account for the same to the treasurer who's in here, mayor and other public officials as directed by the mayor. No one knows what this is. Patsy, you have any thoughts on that?
No, no, not really.
I'm gonna leave it as a-
The bills, you know, taxes are lean, right?
Yeah, but you know, does the council order the collection? You know, when the consolidation occurred, the council had a lot of what you would think of as executive functions. They operated more like a board of selectmen in some ways. That's what I see from a lot of the special act provisions. I'll check with somebody on this and we'll figure it out.
Yeah, but there are some departments, for instance, like the town clerk that has fees, you know, for licenses,
Yeah, but this is
building
bills as the
department,
council.
you know, for permits.
Yeah,
So
but
it
this-
might relate to that, but I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, this is bills as the council may order. The council's, you know, the Parks Department's going to collect their fees. The council doesn't, you know, I suppose the council will establish the fees. Maybe that's what it means. I don't know. It's awkward language. I'll try to find out whether anybody, I'll talk to court counsel about that language specifically. I
But
did
we
fix,
have had a couple of occurrences over the last 5 where, for instance, fees at the beaches
At the beach.
were not all being turned over to the city, and so there's new system there, and it was a couple of other areas. So you need to check into that. 'Cause-
I will. This last one I changed to the Board of Assessment Appeals. We don't have a Board of Assessors any longer. And the Board of Relief was in here up until up until I changed it this week. And the Board of
Is there a
Relief,
section that we have to sunset, or you just take it out?
that's going away. I mean, there's no Board of Assessors. We have a Board of Assessment Appeals. We don't have a Board of Relief, so the clerk is simply the clerk to the Board of Assessment Appeals. See what else? That's it in that section. Now we go to the other elected officials. I don't know if I made any changes in this section. Let me take a quick look. Town clerk. Capitalized ordinances. Oh, here's something. And no one had an answer for me. I'm trying to talk to people in City Hall about this. This not the compensation one. Wait a second. It's powers and duties. This is registrar of voters. I'll try to reach out to the registrar of voters, but there's here, this one right here. Compensation. The council shall fix the compensation and provide each registrar of the first and second voting districts and the third voting district these amounts of money. Does anybody know anything about this?
I know, but it looks like it's, back into that old reference, historic, back to the forming of 1913.
Yep, I got you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
So-
what it looks like to me.
yeah. So that's an open question. We'll get that resolved in the next, before this goes over to the council. I did fix something that somebody.
No,
one of
but,
you
but on this,
Yeah.
I don't know if they're paid, if they're under the ordinance or the ordinance list that the council does approve or not. I don't know. I haven't looked at that list and
I'll try to find,
Yes.
I'll try to figure this out. If we can't figure it out, we'll try to figure it out when it goes over
but
to
I
the
mean, the
council.
current ones might be on the list of ordinance that the council does approve. I'm not sure. It was that way years back, but I don't know what it is right now.
Okay. We'll take the highlight out at least. All right. the
What is a
bold.
box tender?
So then, I did take out of here, remember, somebody picked up on the fact that under this constable section, I still had the city clerk, registrar, and the city clerk and registrar of voters, and they don't belong in that section. It's just the constables. And so, and I also made it clear the powers were under the general statutes. So
Shouldn't it be cities, such offices of cities?
the way it's listed is, no, it's listed as towns in the general statutes. There is no city, there's the town provisions, they call them, in the general statutes. We use them as a guide in home rule towns for things like constables. And they fall under the town portions of the document of the charter. If you look at the Board of Education sections, we have all these battles with the Board of Education. Most of the Board of Education standards are built for towns. It's an interesting question. It's never been litigated, but most of us accept that the cities and towns are interchangeable. I think they should use the term municipality, frankly,
Right. Yeah.
which covers both. But we're doing a big reform of Title VII in the next few months that I'm going to be part of. It's my next big project. And so we'll address that issue, but it's towns, it's not cities. It is towns. That is used properly in the current charter, and there's no need to change it here. Well,
But
again,
the duties outlined there under the constable, I don't know if they're really
well,
happening.
what we can do say is such officers under the general statutes. Does that make you feel better?
No, I had gone back down to the next one.
Oh.
Yeah, I
Well,
was fine with that.
Do you want me to take out? I mean, I'll take out towns. I don't think it hurts it.
No, I'm not even talking about that, Steve. I've gone down to 6.4.
Okay,
So, does that really happen now? That the sheriff serves notice of the council?
they could.
You know, when
They-
we
but they-
asked,
but they
when we
don't-
had the constables here, we asked them what they did. They didn't reference anything.
I
connected.
didn't know about this.
This is in the current charter. I didn't change a word here.
I know, but I'm just
Current
saying,
charter.
as, it's a question, is
Yeah.
this, is this the practice now?
No, I don't believe it is. I did ask that question. I don't believe
Oh.
it is.
And so why do we keep it?
Well, because I thought you wanted to have we kept it because you wanted to give the sheriff something that they could do. And if it's left, I don't think we need to say sheriff of the city, the sheriff. Why would you take it away at this point? If the hope was to give the sheriff more work and you got this laid out, clearly the sheriff will take a look at it and say, hey, can I have some of that business? I don't know.
Okay. That's a good explanation. Thank you.
All right. My answer is I don't know, but I did the best I could to explain it. So, let's see here. Oh, I do, there's a substantive issue that I want you to think about, and we should talk to, there's no changes here, but I wanted to go to this section. We have not, I propose, I think this is new language. Hold on. 376, yeah, this is new. This lays out that boards and commissions, one of the grounds for taking somebody off a board or commission is that they don't show up.
Right.
And so I have put into charter provisions, and that we did about this, but I don't know if you're comfortable with it. I will take it out as being subject to review, but I don't remember that we specifically addressed it. And so you could think about it through the public hearing process, and we'll resolve it at the last meeting, but I wanted to bring this to your attention. And the standard I have here is a standard that I've used, but you could use whatever standard you'd like. But the key is that the idea is you don't want, I've seen communities, commissions and boards cancel meetings to avoid dealing with something. And this establishes a standard, says, hey, you really can't do that.
I agree. I think that's important, having witnessed that kind of activity.
If everybody's comfortable, I'll take the yellow off and take the
I'm fine.
subject to review out. I didn't want to
Any other
presume anything.
comments? Angela? Tyler are still with us?
Tyler's here.
Okay,
Still here.
everybody okay by leaving that?
Mhm. I am.
I am.
Okay, looks like
Yep.
it stays.
Good, let me get it. Let me take that off. That's one less thing. Whoops, shoot. One less thing we have to worry about. I want to get this yellow off, excuse me. I'll try not to curse. There we go. Got it. Thank you. I did not want to presume to do something without knowing that everybody was on board.
I got a question for you, see, while you're looking at something there.
Yes, sir.
Some of these boards or authorities, like the Oak Hills Park Authority, has its own charter that they do. Should we say anything in this charter that other charters should conform to these, or I'm using the wrong words probably, but you know, like this one here that talks about attendance. There's nothing in the Oak Hills Park Authority charter that talks about attendance, I don't believe.
Well, let's go back here. Now, the way we frame it, I'm just went back to is it spelled incorrectly? Got it. The requirements, these are the administrative requirements, Carl, but this is for establishing an ordinance. We could probably mandate that that rules established by boards and commissions should also consider having some of these types of provisions, appointing chair, keeping records, posting of agendas,
Mhm.
compliance with NPR, public
Mhm.
access. All these things are here, frequency of meetings.
Yep.
Oh, no, here's where I think it does cover it. Look at this. In the absence of an ordinance, the board and commission's rules have to state it. Does that cover you?
You're the attorney. If you think it does.
Well, I
sure.
think it does. I mean, what is the Oak Hill? Tell me what the Oak Hill, what this particular one is.
Well, it's the park authority that manages Oak Hills, 60-some acres of land and the entire golf course, tennis, everything. It's the
Yeah, and
revenue- it's the
authorities are
revenue
covered,
producer.
authorities are covered by the definition of board or commission.
Okay,
So I think you're covered.
all right, because I mean, when I was there, we had problems with some people attending. And the question always became, well, can you not get rid of them? And
What's the process?
yeah, well, there, in the charter that was drafted by somebody long before me there, and it needs, I think it's being redone this year. There wasn't really a procedure.
Yep, but this.
But I also know some
Okay.
of, some of the other things in town that falls under this has, I think if I recall right, when we first started this, there were certain things that were mentioned, maybe the BET was one of them, that they have their own charter.
Well, I don't know about that. They may have their own rules, but
Rules, not
I
charter.
mean, BET is covered by the city charter.
Okay,
Yeah, they don't have independent, I mean, they may have their own rules of procedure, but
Okay.
they don't have a separate grant, to my knowledge. Whatever grant they've got is in this document.
okay.
All right,
That may have been exactly yet, but we'll see.
we'll see. All right, let's go back to where we were. So here we are at the BET, no changes in the BET. Whoops. I need to be flipping around. Police Commission. Oh, I have a note here. Expansion should be included in the transmittal letter. I'm going to take that out. Because we're going to do it, right, guys?
What's the one above it? Steve, question mark.
Yeah, let's see what that is. Oh, yeah, here we are again. Each voting precinct and voting place. I think if we say voting place, that covers us. Because do we have precincts?
We
It-
used to
there-
call them that. I don't know anymore.
And there was
Uh,
something about a precinct a little earlier on.
Because
I wonder.
it encompasses, I think, more than one voting place.
So a polling place would not be a
You know
precinct.
what? I think it's not worth spending time on right
I'll
now.
leave it. I'll leave it. No big deal.
And that's such, again, it's such a sensitive issue.
Yep, I don't want to mess with it.
Why raise a flag?
I got you. I just wanted to highlight it. I'm glad you noticed that, Patsy. It's gone. I did make a change in the police commission functions with respect right here. Whoops, with respect to the power to appoint. I did add language with regard to salaries and compensation. And I added this clause unless otherwise set forth in a collective bargaining agreement. Because this ain't the old days. Most
Right.
police salaries are set by collective bargaining agreement.
Mhm.
And the discipline of a police officer is governed by, a police chief is governed by this statute. I will probably throw that into the footnote in the annotation. But and you'll see the same thing in the fire chief, the same standard applies to both police and fire, so I made identical changes in both. I still do not have an answer definitively, so we will get. Let's go back here for 1 second. Again, the power to fix the number and designation of all officers and members, that's true, that exists. But it's maybe exercised only by the police commission. But my question was like, what about the budget? They can't fix the number of police officers that exceed the budget. So I don't know if you think it's clear that the budget governs it. I don't need to I'll take my question away. I'll leave it up to you. What do you think?
Every time they want to add any, they have to go, through the budgetary.
All right,
process.
if it's
I don't know the answer, so.
I think it's self-evident. I
mayor-
don't think we need to
Maybe the
change.
mayor knows best and check with them on that.
All right, I'll leave that question there. And then this question premises I asked Tom about it. Nobody seemed to know what that meant. Shall continue as at present until the commission shall take action in the premises. The number of all officers shall continue as at present. I think this is language that occurred when the consolidation occurred.
Yes, I agree. I think so.
Do you want to, should we eliminate it or should we leave the historic language? I think,
I
Eliminate.
think it should be eliminated.
everybody?
Yes.
Yeah,
All right, let me, I'm not gonna do it right now. I'm gonna highlight it.
But I think you need to check with the mayor on it before we eliminate it.
Then we won't take an action today. I will yellow it. Good.
Okay.
Needs further action. The police commission. I think this is coming out. I'm trying to resolve it definitively. Have it resolved before we send it to the council.
Okay.
That this whole issue of the benefit fund. I do not believe everybody I've talked to says it doesn't, there's no beneficiaries, it doesn't exist. I also have it, as you see, in article, whatever it is, I think it's 13. And I'm hoping this will be gone. I've had a couple of conversations. They're going to get me a definitive answer soon. Again, I'll take this out because we've noted that it's going to go into the transmittal letter. I made some of the same changes in fire with regard to collective bargaining. And I'm just flipping through here. So my question on this one is, and I have not gotten a definitive answer. I think it is. I think all of this is governed by collective bargaining. I will try to get that resolved before we take final action. That whole yellow section here. And then here's the fireman's benefit fund, similar to the other fund. And I'm trying to get a definitive answer on the 1935 appointments for mental merit and fitness. I think those will come out, but I did not want to take them out until I get a definitive response from people who'd work with these provisions every day. And then we have the list of those boards and commissions that are mandated by the charter, but not created by the charter: Board of Assessment Appeals, Planning and Zoning, Conservation, Pension Board, Food Services Pension Board. It does exist. I had a question mark about that. I've figured that out. Zoning Board of Appeals, Board of Ethics appointed by the council, and the Public Library Board. And those are all mandated by the charter. And then we go to the departments. Whoops. Trying to see if I made any major fixes there. More nit fixes in this section. Let me see. There was one where I reversed. I reversed the part. Oh yeah, here it is. This up, I believe. 8-2. I had department heads before division chiefs. I corrected that. Right there. And so that's fixed. No other changes in there. Some defined terms. Oh yeah, this is a big one. Not a big one, but it's one worth noting. The issue of, remember the issue of surety bonds?
Yeah.
I finally got it resolved. We got people on the phone today. We got two different answers. But we got a definitive answer from our risk manager. Whoops. So I've eliminated the current provisions that require specifically for the director of finance or the CFO, tax collector, tax assessor. It turns out all of those people have bonds. And so what we did is I've recommended, and the risk manager thought this made sense. The city may require surety bonds or other forms of insurance for certain public officials in accordance with the requirements of ordinance, consistent with best practices in the risk management, or the risk management field. Angela, what do you think? In risk management or the risk management field? Oh, Angela's not here. What does everybody else think?
I think field, I'm going through that issue right now between the city and something I'm involved with.
All right, so we,
So is there any official bonded currently?
yeah, the people who were here, he did not know it. The CFO is, the tax collector is, the tax assessor is, the assistant tax assessor is, mainly people who deal with money. But rather than make it a mandatory charter provision, because there are other forms of protection that get. So this gives us the option. It retains the concept in the charter, but it's not mandatory.
So just a dumb question. Does that mean that anyone or anybody that is performing a function for the city underneath this charter would be covered by a surety bond?
No, only those that are named.
Only those that are named.
Yeah, it's going to
Okay.
require an ordinance. So I imagine the council, the mayor, the city, the common council, the mayor, and the risk manager will sit down and figure out what's the right standard. And my recommendation is that they at least go with what they do now. But they need to think about it on an ongoing basis. But it was interesting that one official said, I don't think we do that anymore. And then we got the risk manager called just as the meeting was about to break up, and he said, oh no, we do it. We do have it. So
They should.
so and you should have some form of insurance. So that's that. I got that issue resolved, thank God.
Well, it's good to know because I think some people think they are when they're not. So. Anyway.
Yep. And I'm trying to see if there's any,
So
oh,
the F here is new, right? At the end of a term, all the documents turned over.
Mhm.
I think that's a
look.
good one, but is that? new?
No, that's here. That's in the charter.
Okay,
That's currently one, it's a good one, but it's in the charter. I mean, I changed the language to division chiefs and all that,
yeah,
but this provision, take a look at it, is in the charter.
okay.
I mean, look, there's a lot of good things in your charter. It's just no one knows they're there
Or where to find them.
or where to find them. And I think this new document helps us a little bit with that.
And I think that's a good bullet point too. Is to
Good.
the fact that we created the indexed, you got generally that you gotta correct under 8-4.
Yeah, you know, I think, Tyler, I think it's a really good point. It's interesting in both the cities next door to each other, Stamford and Norwalk, because the sections I redone in Stamford this time around, we're not quite done. I've taken what I call the wall of words and broken them down as we've done here in creating sections and subsections. And there were two people who said to me, oh, I didn't know that was in the charter. I just thought it was a policy. And that's a little disturbing. I'll tell you that. It was a very high ranking official. That was not a pleasant thing to hear.
Yeah. But my point was that the index is an important addition to our charter.
The table of contents you're talking
Yeah,
about.
table of context,
Yep.
and I don't think we bullet pointed that, but that's been one of
Tyler, you
the
got that one?
complaints. That's been one of the big complaints is nobody can find out where anything is.
I agree.
So I think that's something
Excellent. Yeah, thank you.
a big plus that we've accomplished. Generally,
that's-
you're changing that.
Well, generally is fine. It says I need a comma. So I'm accepting it. I'm accepting it, ignore. So
Okay,
yeah.
okay,
I think it's confused because of the footnote.
okay, yeah.
you know,
yeah,
something.
Yeah. right.
Yeah, that's why it showed up. Thank you, Benita, for that.
So why at the bottom there are, the last two sentences are not bold?
I don't know why. I'll go through and make sure that.
Oh, and the first sentence is either, so obviously you've worked on.
Something happened.
Yeah,
You know something's happening, but you don't know what it is. Carl, you know the last line there? Do you, Mr. Jones? All right, all right, I fixed it, done. D, this is another one of these. Hold on. Community services. Yeah, the CFO. I had a question, what does this mean? I'm not going to get an answer to it. I think it's pretty clear, whatever the functions of the auditor and controller are, the CFO has picked them up.
and so we don't have an outside audit.
Well, that's different. The outside audit is required by outside by rating agencies and by just accounting standards for municipalities. This is the internal audit function.
Oh, okay.
Personally, I think you know, when you do your charter within the next 2 years, you should be looking at things like internal audit functions and stuff like that. We're not, it's beyond the bandwidth for us to start tackling those things, but I have a lot of ideas. Let me fix this. I don't know why there's a highlight on that. I'm trying to do these as I go through. If I happen to catch them, might as well do it. I don't know why it's not fixing it, but we'll get it. There you go. And then the controller's functions.
So now we got the word controller again.
Yeah, because it still is.
Separate from the chief.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'll double check that. But we took most of the functions and moved them into a historic section. Let's see here.
Because it's all controller.
Yeah.
Yeah. We should check on this.
It says that it works under the supervision of the. chief
Yeah,
financial
and
officer.
no one told me otherwise. Let me check with that. Again, we're not going to get that resolved for tomorrow, but let's figure that out so we can fix that if it needs to be fixed. Okay. Excuse me, I gotta catch up on my red line. See where I am. All right. Oh, this, I have no idea what this means. These are duties
All the duties.
of assessors and boards of assessors under the general statutes I get. But I don't know what the hell, I don't know what on earth the tax commissioner and assistant tax commissioner have to do with anything. I would just do it the general statutes because there's no other reference to the tax commissioner and assistant tax commissioner in this charter. I mean, I could check with somebody, but
Yeah,
no one seemed to know.
Yeah, no, have you checked with anybody?
I'll double check it again.
Yeah,
But again, I've not been able to get a response on that. So, all right, community services. Nothing there. I'll worry about this later. Human resources. Oh, chief operating officer. That's the division chiefs. We're starting in the division chiefs. Oh, this one, the mayor's office is looking into this for me because I've asked them about it. It made no sense to me. I took this out of the ordinance, literally out of the ordinance, and I said, "What is this? Is this like a unique program?" So they're checking to see what that is and whether that really should be in the charter or not. I added in here because there was a question that came up. This language is new. I did not have the direct reports to that particular division chief. These are the direct reports: health, library, human resources, human services. We're holding this section earlier. The library has been in touch with us, and so I'm holding this language as a placeholder to address the library function, and hopefully we'll get that resolved.
And this is gotta be changed anyway, because two of the libraries that I mentioned are city.
No, I got it. I
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, but I'm just holding it as a holding place for
Okay.
that discussion. Nothing under public safety. What's this powers of police? What on earth is that? Oh, I think I know what that is. That should be gone. That section should have been gone. I took out some language in another place. It was in two different places. Should be taken out here. There was a provision that said that the police have the powers of constables. They don't need powers of constables. They have plenty of powers. Now, here's something else I just noticed for the first time. I just can't believe that I've noticed that there is no town court of Norwalk.
I thought we had changed this once before.
No, we changed it somewhere else, but we didn't change it here.
Okay.
I'm gonna put the Superior Court.
Well, that keeps changing to,
Well, yeah. Superior Court hasn't changed for a long time. I think we have to go with what we got. I
Steve,
can't.
I'm sorry, can you just scroll up a little bit to just so I can see the context of what the duty of the police is? That, I mean, is that something that should even be in a charter?
Not as a rule.
That seems like something
I
that's
know
just a
here's, have
matter
we
of.
have we ever tried to enforce this provision? It's an arrest without warrant provision. I've left it because it's an extraordinary power.
Okay.
And it's granted by the state. I think there's a lot of problems for the arrest without warrant. I think there's some federal constitutional standards that might get in the way. It's possible that the council will look at this and say, why did you leave this in here? But I've had many conversations and no one has told me to take, I've asked
Yeah.
in the document, and they did not say, get rid of this.
Yeah, that seems like an odd thing to have in a charter. That seems like it'd be more of a police issue than, I'm right. I mean, is it common for a charter to kind of?
It's
provide-
common for an old charter provision from the Special Act era. to have
Right.
Provisions of this nature. This is a holdover.
Yeah.
And so my view on it is,
13.
Yeah. yeah, my view on it is, let's see what the council has to say about it.
All right.
They'll take a shot. at it.
Would we be highlighting areas that we want them to look at, or just wait for them to respond?
Let them do it. I mean, my hope is that all the highlights that we have in this document will be gone. They should be gone. I don't want to, when we send our draft report over to them, I do not want to have highlights.
What was that, except for this?
Fire
the sixth?
department.
This
Oh.
was the fire service. Remember, we talked about this?
Yeah, talked about that.
We talked about this in the
I'm
last
getting
meeting.
seasick looking at this.
I know.
I'm sorry, guys.
That's why I
I'm
kept
sorry. I'm
going to my
trying to.
Paper.
I know,
Yeah, but it's hard to follow.
I know, and then I can't
I
find it on
can't-
paper.
I can't do here.
Ah,
Oh, no, this is not a substitute for you reading the document. I just wanted to walk through and tell you the major things I've taken out. That's all I'm doing here. We're getting to the end, mercifully.
That's okay. That's what we got to do.
No, it's just when you go really fast, it's kind of.
All right, I'll try to go slower. And again, this is the administrative side of the library. I think it's the same provision. I held it. It's still an outstanding issue. My hope is that we will have it resolved before we send it over to the board, the Common Council. Board of Education. Sorry, I'll try to go slow. There are no changes here at all. We addressed all the issues that we had with them, and they've all been resolved.
Can you go back just a second? I just wanted to see
What do you want to say
the police, something about the police.
in the Board of Ed?
No, it was further up and
All right,
go
hold on.
back. I don't know, maybe I thought it was a typo, but maybe not.
I'll go back. Police. Police Department,
Commission.
Police Commission.
Well, it was in pink above.
Yeah, it's,
Oh, that
above
was in the,
The police commission shall. Why is that pink?
where?
what
Well, you
was.
just
it's
had
not-
it. And you,
Yeah, it's gone.
Oh, it's not pink, it's highlighted.
oh, okay.
It's highlighted because
Okay.
the appointment authority. I can take
Okay.
that out.
All
Is
right,
there-
never mind.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
you-
no, thank you for catching that because that shouldn't have the highlight any longer. I can take this out because we,
But he
reference
can
that.
be removed under this charter? The chief can?
yeah, except this is what really governs. So you can have a basis, if the chief's not doing their job. You have the charter and the ordinances that can create standards, but you need to follow the procedures of the general statutes.
Right, okay.
So it's all captured there. And that's new language. The current language was just the charter. And I expanded it to make sure the general statutes were referenced. Anything else?
No,
Thank you for catching that pink, that pink thing, the shadow.
Why is that pink?
Here we are at faded words again. You see them? I'll just do a whole run and make sure everything is consistent. So. Library, okay, so we're back at the Board of Ed. No changes since the last document. There is something here that I still have a question about. I don't quite know how to resolve it, which means we can end up leaving this horrible language in here. Other appointments. The board may make such appointments before any appropriation has been made to cover the salaries.
So they can hire
Uh,
somebody without having it approved. Is what it's saying, which is what I'm reading. But the act.
Yeah, but they don't have authority. They don't have authority, even under their powers. The state law is very clear that they can't do anything if they don't have budget money. This is totally inconsistent with, I will call Tom Mooney, the Board of Ed lawyer, and ask him about this. Now, Tom may say, well, it's a special act provision that takes precedence. He may just say that, but I think I don't want to eliminate anything in the Board of Education section that's going to lay a controversy, and I don't think they can enforce this anyhow.
And do you know what 1-213 is?
Yeah, it's the act, it's a section of this charter. I will do the reference. They call it the Act of Consolidation. This all goes back to
1913.
1913.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I'll tell you what the section is in a second. It's
Okay.
coming up on my others. Well, content unavailable. Content's unavailable. I will figure it out, but obviously it goes to the 1913 Act. I'll pull it up separately. It's not, my link is not working right now for some reason. All right, but that, we will have that resolved before this goes to the council. The budget, I changed Director of Finance to CFO. I don't know why I had it in there, frankly. I don't know why we had it in there. So I fixed it throughout the document that it's now the CFO, not the budget
Henry brought
director.
that up, as I recall, right? How he,
Yeah. I mean, is there a director? Is there a budget? Is there a director of finance?
I don't know the answer, but you know,
The mayor's office wanted the CFO in there, and I would say that the mayor trumps Henry.
I would agree.
Yeah. I say that respectfully, Henry,
Yeah.
for the record.
Yeah.
Henry
well,
might not
you've
agree
said
with
it before,
Yeah,
but I don't, oh, I have the chart with me if I can find it. The organizational chart.
but they thought that the CFO is the responsible part. If he wants to delegate it to a director of finance under
Mm,
the his tutelage, they were okay with that, but the charter should reference
No,
the
who is
should
really-
reference the top guy. He's the chief. Okay, here's another thing. Here's taxing district stuff again. So this is budget estimates. So they get the estimates and
You know
each-
what, while you're doing that, I pulled up the chart that I sent out a couple of weeks ago. So it's chief financial officer and the controller is underneath him. For that.
is there a director of finance?
Management and budgets, information technology, purchasing, tax assessor, tax collector. No, not on this chart. City of Norwalk Government Organization Chart.
All right, so here's this again. So I think that this is the several taxing districts would be the first. Right? Name them.
I'm sorry, where are we?
This is in 10-2. Do the taxing districts provide information to the city for purposes of the budget?
I think, I'm not sure. There
I'll
might
ask whether
be-
this happens. I'll ask whether this
Yeah,
happens. Okay.
I'm trying to think of that and.
I mean, because we do collect for them. And does
Yeah.
that have to show up in the budget? I would doubt it. If we collect for them, we're probably doing it under an agreement and not under the budget provisions.
See, now, here, the several taxing districts are not capitalized.
No, I was asking whether I should say first, second, third.
I know, yeah. I've got it. So, I mean,
Let me
they're
get-
on the chart, that we were looking at this morning. It's all there and the money flow seems to go in one direction. But then the sixth district, well, we have to check on it.
All right, I'll check on it.
Mhm.
And if they are, I will specify the districts.
Yes. Hmm.
Okay, I don't think there are any other changes in the budget section. Nope. Wait, 1 second, please. Let me just see one thing here. I want to just do this. I like saying the Board of Estimate and Taxation the first time I mentioned them in a. This means okay. I think that's it on these sections.
So, but in the budget. Did we go by that already?
We're in there, yeah. We went by.
So the council has the power to decrease the budget, but not increase, apparently.
They can establish the cap. But I think they can only go lower. They can't
There's
go
a
higher.
section that I had highlighted that, but
I think
I
that's true.
can't find
They
it.
they can only go down. They can establish the cap, which means, but I think it's a reduced cap. Hold on. Let me see if I can find that quickly. 1 second. So submission. I'm having a hard time manipulating this, but we'll get there. Power to levy taxes. Estimates come in. Maximum, here it is. The council shall at a meeting by vote, a maximum limit on the total appropriations. It doesn't say up or down.
Well, there's another section that has decreased in it, specifically. I'm trying to remember, I'm so tired right now. I'm sorry, I can't recall this.
No, but I think you're right.
Let's look.
I think,
I thought that's somewhere in here too. Let me.
Yeah.
It's been several months since we've looked at this. Okay, here's common council. Okay, here it is. They can amend the maximum limit for the city. But it doesn't say up or down. They can amend it.
Well, I know there's someplace that says decrease in two different
The
sections.
word decrease.
Yeah.
All right, let's look.
uh,
do you ever remember doing that?
Oh, boy.
You were
um,
part of it?
There it is, yeah.
No, but that's not,
Oh, okay.
that's
There's a
not that section. It's used a lot in the
Yeah.
documents. Let me,
Oh, you did a word search.
that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's why.
I don't know if I can find it. I've got everything.
The last place decreases, let's see here.
Hang on a second. It said something about shall decrease the tax rate.
Yeah, but these are the referendum provisions. This is
Wow.
the effective referendum. So let's see if
Okay.
the word decrease shows up anywhere else. We're still in the referendum.
My papers are all mixed up.
Maybe that's the only place it does appear.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm trying to get above a referendum section. This is the capital budget. Again, this is a referendum. Okay, so let's go back now. We're in the documents. No, we're still in referendum. Gee whiz.
I know, I've got everything just so damn pulled apart. Hmm. And then upside down. That's the reason.
There's nothing on decrease in this budget section.
Okay.
Yeah, they decrease line items in the budget, but I don't think in the overall they can.
Yeah,
Or they pass or approve or recommend a decrease in a line item.
well, they don't get line item control at all, frankly.
No, they don't.
That's the Board of Estimate function.
Well, they do when they discussed the Board of Education's request for money.
Well, the Board of Ed, they cannot condition Board of Ed funding. That's very clear under state law. I'm a very aggressive person when it comes to boards of ed. I ended up in a Supreme Court case with them over my
Yeah.
aggression, and I won, frankly, but
So I'm probably confused in that when they've come and asked for additional money, the council does take that into consideration.
yes,
Okay.
and they like to have it both ways.
Yeah.
We need this additional money, but you can't tell us how to spend it when you give it to us.
Right.
Okay.
You know where it is? It's in the referendum.
Yeah, that's what I said.
It showed up there, the word decrease
Yeah.
about 7
Yeah.
times.
Yeah. All right, so that's it there. Let's move to,
This is like
The-
subliminal advertising, you know, you sit and you watch this.
so subliminal.
Yeah,
So we have transition provisions. These are the transition and miscellaneous provisions.
And that's a plus that we've done that could be articulated.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no later than September of 2024, the council shall appoint a commission, and then thereafter, no later than September 2029, and no more than every 5 years thereafter. Or no later than every
No.
five years.
No more, no less than every 5 years. We want.
Yeah,
them-
no later than is what I was changing it to, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a great, I mean, that's very innovative. I've been pointing this out to other cities that you're mandating it within the next 2 years. Doesn't mean 2 years from now, but could be next year. Could mean whatever it is. Was it September 24, September 25? Let's think about this for a second. Yeah, September 24 is next September. A year from now. So
Year from now.
it'd be September 25. Am I right? And then
Yeah, I thought,
not later than 2 years from now, so that would be,
So it has to be
Ye-
an even year.
it would be,
No.
this will be, right, September, right.
and
Yeah.
then we would then start in the 5-year cycle in the 30, no later than September 30.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, I think that's what we said, right? It was 2 years from now, and then every 5 would be the new requirement.
yeah, no later than, so they can,
Yeah.
they can start next year if they want, but they can't do it any later than the 25th, then 2025. All right, good. And then effective date, I think it simply is the provisions are effective upon adoption by the voters unless otherwise stated. Like, for example, the mayor's term is not going to be effective because we have language for that. I've left this, I'll take this out. I don't think I need, had a placeholder just in case we needed something of this nature. It was reminding me to do something. I'm going to take it out. It's not necessary. Let's go quickly into the taxing districts and I'll show you the changes. They're all in the beginning of the taxing district section. And you'll see them. This is a result of the discussion that we had, Patsy and I had today with in the mayor's office. And that is I think I picked this stuff out. Wait a second here. Yes. So these things are still here, division into the taxing districts. When I talked to Attorney Murphy the other day, he and I were talking about the wards and he said, well, they don't really use the wards. And he explained the history of the wards to me. And then I told him, I said, I moved them into the taxing district section because the definition, the boundaries, the meets and bounds of the taxing district refer to the wards. So I thought we should keep the definition. So the wards definition still lives in the taxing district section. But we did that last time. Then why is this still moved from Article 3? I don't need that note there any longer.
Okay, so now this, so our charter can't touch any of their elected officials.
We're not, yeah.
Um,
But I moved these were in the main charter, and that's why I moved them here,
Right,
because they belong here. They were in Article 3 when we first did the conversion, and they are no longer in Article 3. So these are positions. Gee whiz, Steve. I'm sorry. I'm trying to do two things at one time to
yeah, it's hard.
minimize. All right, we're almost there.
All right, now.
Vacancies, now we're
Now
getting,
Here, oh,
Yep.
the fourth, okay, this
yeah,
is,
now we're getting there.
Yeah.
So we left this here because it basically, I mean, I suppose we could move this back into the other section.
yeah, see, this is, I don't think belongs in the other district. I think those 4 districts should have their own designation section.
Why did I leave this here? I thought I
Which-
was moving this, hold on.
4
First, second, third, and sixth.
and 6, because they have,
They have their own
Governance.
powers. They have their
They've
own
got-
powers from,
Right.
from the state.
All right, I'm gonna move this out of here into the body of the document, because this deals with the 4th taxing district,
Right,
you know.
yeah, and
Mhm.
before we meet on Saturday morning, I'll go over this tomorrow night I haven't had a chance to.
So you don't want me to,
No, that I think this should go back into the other section.
no, I'll do that and I'll move it in there, move to body of charter.
And the next one too, when you go into the fifth taxing. use.
Oh, I just did it. It's both. It's,
Oh,
see that, it's both,
Oh,
both these
I can't
things.
see that.
All right.
What section do you put it in?
On common council?
I'm looking at maybe a special powers of the common council, yeah. Yep, these should go there. And do these, see, but these now talk about the first, second, and third in this next section, even though the fifth is mentioned here. And it talks about the commissioners and the treasurer elected in those districts, so I think this one stays. But it talks about property within the fifth taxing district.
Well. the
This is
fifth
where it gets
tax-
goofy.
yeah, Yeah, I can't deal with this right now. I'll have to spend some time on it tomorrow night.
All right, this stays here. All right, so what did come out, let me just tell you, I did take a big swath of this stuff out. We talked about it a little while ago. What was section coming right after here? What was this, the section 12-2 is gone. There was, and we talked about this a little while ago, this was the powers of the council with regard to public lighting, and with regard to, with regard to that, I showed you earlier the historic provisions of council powers over the fourth and fifth taxing districts. Those are gone. And so everything else in this section of the remainder of the document is still dealing with the taxing districts, with the and here it is again, but it talks about the first, second, and third. And I thought as long as those are referenced and that their authorities are referenced, they would stay here.
There's no
Those are
second,
these-
there, 12-4, there's no second,
Garbage
the plan,
disposal plan?
it's second district. I can't see all of the words because it's cut off. The city shall maintain the garbage disposal plant of the second taxing district. We've already done that.
I thought we did take it out before.
Although we took it out last meeting.
Did we take it out?
Yeah,
I thought we
I
did.
thought
Well-
we did.
We talked about it, but obviously it's still here, so,
All right. I'll repeal it.
but, but the
So
whole.
no, is anybody in the second district going to be upset that we're repealing it?
Well, I need to look at the whole thing and I can't do it in this chopped way, so,
All right, well, that's pretty much it, because when we get to 12-6, it's the first taxing district. And it walks through each of the districts from there. So that's kind of it for me on this.
okay, so there was one section of, a couple of people have mentioned it to me about, the powers to, for, providing, requiring homeowners to pay for sidewalks and paved, walkways.
Mhm.
I can't remember exactly where that is now, but that's been an issue in Norwalk. And Norwalk is right now undergoing major sidewalk program installation. And historically, they didn't have sidewalks.
Right.
So we should just look at it at least.
All right, I don't know where that is.
It might be under the planning and zoning.
Planning and zoning.
Might be. I mean, it's by ordinance about keeping the ice and snow off the street.
No,
Or sidewalk.
It's in the charter.
That's in the charter.
There's nothing here.
The issue historically in Norwalk was only a concrete walkway was a sidewalk versus a
Asphalt.
paved asphalt.
Yeah, but the charter doesn't, does the charter establish that standard?
It's referenced, I have to go back and look to find it.
Asphalt would be mentioned in the charter?
It doesn't use the word asphalt, it says paving. Oh, there, you just picked up sidewalks. And paving, see, including paving, so.
Yeah, but this is all in the this is one of the sections we just looked at. And it talks about the fifth, but it refers to all these other taxing districts, and I just am afraid to play with it. I don't know what we can do with it. This is a section we just looked at.
Okay, oh, I will,
This is paving refunding, some bonds from 1931. These are all taxing district things. I think we're all the references to
the
paving.
taxing districts do not pay for paving.
Well, there's no reference to paving in any section that doesn't deal with the taxing district.
I know, but it's the fifth district that the paving is under.
So you're saying that this section is not about the first, second, and third districts?
Yes. That's what I'm saying.
Why are they referenced here?
I don't know. I'm only seeing part of this, on the screen.
We'll take a look at it. Well, I'll yellow it and say outstanding issue.
Okay.
I'm going to move those other sections into the body, and without anybody's objection, I'm going to post the clean version of this so the public has an opportunity to see it. It's still a work in progress.
And
But-
when you post that, is that, how do you get that message across? Is it a big draft or under?
It's called draft report, and for, still undergoing. Here, I'm gonna take this screen save off. Maybe I'll put some language on here. Public hearing. Draft version. Subject to revisions. Based on.
Under discussion?
Yeah, under, based on public testimony and further due diligence by the CRC.
Okay. I think
I'll put that right at the top.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I will do.
And for Tyler's list, the change that we made in vacating the mayor's office and all of that language about two positions. That's all new.
What's that?
In the mayor's section, we created a new process for the vacancy or potential vacancy in the mayor's position.
Yeah, I'll include that, Patsy. That's a good one.
That's a good one. Yeah.
And it's an important one. I mean, I think it's something that should have been in there from the get-go and never was. So I'll add that to the list.
Tyler, I'll send you my document later, and I'll have, I'll make sure that Zuma gets it out to everybody as well. Or I'll try to send it to everybody. Once I'm off here and I'm not distracted by doing two things at one time, I'll send it to the rest of you. So that you all have it. Tyler, when you have when you do your draft, if you want to send it over to me, I'll be happy to look at it.
I will.
But if there's any way we can get this up tomorrow, that'd be wonderful.
I'm going to try. The kids don't have after school tomorrow, so I'm going to leave work a little early, and I'll see if I can't do it in the afternoon.
One,
And you
so I
know,
will post draft report. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Zuma seems to have been out 2 different Fridays in a row, which created some transition issues.
Yeah.
So we need to check on,
If she's not there tomorrow, I will talk to Leisha and make
Oh,
sure whatever
yeah.
we need to get done,
Yeah.
gets done.
yeah, because
Thank you.
that created a couple of problems.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
certainly.
One last thing is just what Tyler brought up about the police being able to arrest without a warrant. I too think that that's problematic for a charter. I mean, that's a really bad incident waiting to happen.
I am all in favor of eliminating it. I don't like the constitutional implications of it. And I think if the city ever used it, there would be a lot of consequences.
Right.
So I think
Yeah.
you should, I think you should, so if you want to act on it tonight, you should, but you want to wait until our last meeting, we could do it then as well.
Well, I thought we were gonna have you check with the mayor on that.
I will double check it again. Yeah,
But I
so,
think
but
the
that's an outstanding
inclination
issue, but
is- Our inclination is to eliminate.
I don't want you to think I disagree with you on that.
Yeah, I'm sure it goes back to,
Yeah, the original, it goes back to
Yeah,
19.
I'm right. I'm sure there have been many issues since then that would kind of make that
Obsolete.
completely obsolete.
Well-
I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but I can't imagine that wouldn't be a huge issue.
Warrantless arrests are not, even this Supreme Court would probably uphold.
Yeah,
Not
I
this
don't, right. I don't know that the 1913 Norwalk Charter would be enough to get that through the courts.
This looks like it's from the Jim Crow South is what it looks
Yeah.
like.
That's exactly what it does.
Yeah,
That's why.
didn't the original
Yeah.
charter, when we first gave the mayor powers to do some things like that, to just.
It gave the
Oh, yeah,
mayor
the mayor
powers
had the
to
ability to go
break
into
up house parties and stuff.
house part,
which
no, not house parties.
Houses.
Houses of ill
They were
ill repute, yeah.
Yes.
All right, guys, do
Get
you
it
want
done
to just, on the
first.
schedule, we're locked into schedule. Do you need to discuss that any
Yeah,
Yeah,
further?
what is the,
Back then, sometimes.
easy now.
Well.
Careful.
So what is the next meeting schedule? Because I know something came out. I didn't see it, but some dates don't correspond to what I had written down in the last meeting.
Well, the public hearing is the 17th.
I'm meeting with him.
The 24th is the final meeting.
Back until-
The 24th is the final meeting for us.
Yes. Then we send it to the council and we have a conferral meeting with the council that you guys should be
I can
aware of and try to be at on the 5th of June.
Canada, I don't know what the schedule is.
Okay.
And then the council,
We-
and then the
we-
council has tentatively scheduled meetings every Monday in June, 12th, not the 19th. We'll have another date that week, the 26th, with a public hearing on July 10th and council action on the 17th of July. And after the council action on the 17th of July, you're back in business. So I'll send those dates out to you.
Okay, that's.
yeah.
Okay.
I'll send them out to you.
So I'm hearing meeting about was there a Saturday meeting for this Saturday scheduled?
No, we talked about.
Patsy and I are going to talk about her markups in the document.
Oh, okay, because I didn't have that on my,
No.
and I'm on the road to New Hampshire
Yeah.
Saturday.
No, that's,
So, the 24th, we have one, right?
that's our final meeting.
Yeah,
Final meeting.
I will be doing that on Zoom.
All right,
Uh,
and I may be doing, the next one we have is when?
The 17th.
17th.
17th. I may, if I can get here and get on Zoom.
And that's a public hearing.
No, that's the public hearing. Yes.
Yeah, if I can get on Zoom, I will.
Yeah, make sure you have a quorum for that.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Make sure you have a quorum. That's critical. That's
Uh,
great. Good.
Send that, would you put a note that on your calendar for us, with that you're sending out must
I
have.
will do that.
quorum.
Well, just so everybody knows, I will try to get on, but like I said before, where I'm at in New Hampshire, the signals and the wireless up there is just not good.
But you can call in.
Yeah, I could call them
All right, guys.
if I wanted to.
Okay.
Are we done?
Okay,
If the signal's
think-
bad, you can call on the phone.
Yeah, when she sends that invite out at the bottom.
There's a number.
you can-
Yeah, there's a number from wherever you are. So, nothing further, motion to adjourn would be in order.
So moved.
Second.
See you guys.
All those in.
I guess.
favor? Aye.
Thank you.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Night.
Nice.
So I have something I want to